Okay, so we got Unit 6, Lesson 2. Just a one-pager. It's a one-pager, so let's get this done quickly here. You guys did quadratic to linear last time. We did the warm-up. That's a parabola line. Now we're doing quadratic to quadratic. Okay, so quadratic to quadratic is a system equation with both equations are quadratic, obviously. Okay, so consider the system of 6x squared plus 7x minus 4 and 2x squared minus x plus 1. Use an algebraic technique to determine the solution of the system. So simply, if y equals this and y equals this, these equal each other. So we set them equal to each other. Okay, so we go 6x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 2x squared minus x plus 1. And then we just want to solve this quadratic. I'm going to move the right side to the left, so I keep my x squareds positive. So I'm going to go minus 2x squared plus x minus 1 minus 2x squared plus x minus 1. So we get 4x squared plus 8x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, now we're going to factor this if we can. Let's see if it does. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Is there any factors of negative 20 that get us 8? 2 and 10. Good. So it's going to be a positive 10 and a negative 2. Okay, and so we're going to group. This one we're going to take a 2x out. That gives me 2x plus 5. These ones just take a negative out. It gives me 2x plus 5. It's a negative 1. And so we see that it's going to be 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 5 equals 0. So what this means is there's solution at 1/2 for x and at negative 5/2 for x. How can I figure out the y? Right, just plug it into either one, okay? So I'll just go over that a little quickly just because you guys understand how to do that. You just take the 1/2, you can just put it here or here, it doesn't matter, but you have to put it into both x spots, right? So for the 1/2, it comes out to be 1 for the point. The negative 5/2 comes out to be 16 for a point. Okay, and so for B, so everybody have that? Okay, so actually before I say that, before B, so when you're solving this, right, doing quadratic to quadratic, what are your options for solutions? What do you think your options for solutions are? 2, 1, and 0. Because when you have quadratic equals quadratic, you're going to have a quadratic, right? Okay, or you might have a linear. Maybe your x squareds cancel, but the point is your 2, 1, 0 is still possible. Okay, like an example would be, let's say, like here's some pictures. One we just did, we'll draw it down here in a second. The one we just did here with the answers we just got looks like this. And then it has this guy going like this, like that. And so there's 2. That's an example of 2. Okay, here's an example of like none. Let's just say I have a really wide one and then one inside of it, steeper. They don't ever touch. Example of none. Okay, and then an example of 1 would be like 2, they're like the same, like an x, like they say they have the same stretch. So let's just say I have like an x squared, and then I have one that just goes like this. So they just intersect at one spot because these things are growing the same. So they're not going to cross again. Okay, so 2, 1, 0 is still the point. Okay, and so you could still figure that out. Once you're solving, you can still use discriminant on what you're solving for to figure out how many solutions. That still works. Okay, so like if I did a discriminant on this right here, I would get 2 in terms of my solutions. Okay, let's just do that just for remembering what you're doing. Discriminant to b squared minus 4ac. 8 squared is 64 minus 4 times 4 times negative 5. Well, negative times a negative is a positive. This is going to be a big positive. So I know it's going to be a positive, which means 2 solutions. Okay, it's going back, kind of bring everything together. Okay, So I already sketched it down here for you. If you want to look at your graph calculator, you can. Okay, and then we can go ahead and verify real quick, and then we'll just call it a wrap for this one. So this one just went like this, I said, and then it goes like this, roughly. This is scaled differently, obviously. That's 16, so I mean, it's a different scale, but roughly the picture would look like that. To verify, we would just plug our points back in. So let's just do it for one of them here. So if we're doing 1/2, I'll do 1/2 and 1. We'll just verify 1/2 and 1 for both equations, and then we won't do the second one. So I think you guys are fine with plugging stuff back in. So to verify, it would be y equals, so sorry, we know what y is. Y is 1. 1 equals 6 times 1/2 squared plus 7 times 1/2 minus 4. So we'd calculate this side, make sure it's 1. Okay. And it is. So that means it verifies. The other one would be 1 equals 2 times 1/2 squared minus 1/2 plus 1. When we calculate that one, it verifies. You get 1 equals 1. Okay. All right, any questions? All right, we'll start there.